When you want to get the accurate information about the future of health and health insurance, just watch the Robin Harris Podcast Show every Thursday, 10 a.m. Arizona time at cellphoneradio.org or dial 408-418-5050 and enter the access code 81810#. It's an invigorating show where Robin brings you experts in the field of health and health insurance. The audience can view the show and ask questions of her guests in real time. That's the Robin Harris Podcast Show every Thursday, 10 a.m. Arizona time at cellphoneradio.org or dial 408-418-5050 and enter the access code 81810#. What's in your health insurance plan?
Welcome to the Robin Harris Show, Health and Health Insurance. I'm so excited because we have such a fantastic show in store for you today, and we have such a special guest, and that is Kari Gray. She is the founder and CEO of the Alternacare Foundation. That is a tongue twister, and she's going to be here to talk about health reinvented. I'm so excited to have her here, and she'll be on board in just 10 minutes. So you just stay tuned. For you that don't know who I am, I'm Robin Harris, and I have a health insurance brokerage. My company is called Robin Harris Advisors, and to know more about me, you can go to my website, robinharrisadvisors.com, and if you would like a consultation, we'll be able to help you, and our information is right there. To put in a little information like an email or a phone number, and we can get in touch with you, or you can get in touch with us at 602-663-2810, and we'll be happy to help you. So for you that know about my little dog, my little dog Dolly, we went for a nice walk this morning. It was fabulous. All the folks were there in the park, and the reason why going for walks, especially this month, is so important because this month is National Wellness Month. The whole month of August is National Wellness Month. All during August, National Wellness Month focuses on self-care, managing stress, and promoting healthy routines. Create wholesome habits in your lifestyle all month long and see how much better you feel. Research has shown self-care helps manage stress and promotes happiness, whether you challenge yourself to a new or try our exercise routine or a spa treatment. I love the spa. Make a small change and impact your health in a positive way. If you ever read Darren Hardy's book, I forgot the name of it, but he talks about incremental every single day. And if you do little change every single day, that is probably the most powerful thing that you could do. Like do a little exercise, even if you just start 15 minutes a day and you did it over a period of time plus consistency, so much can happen for you. Instead of you all of a sudden saying, I'm going to do all this exercise, I'm going to walk 5 miles, that really doesn't work. So doing a little bit each day, starting slow and building up over time is really good for you. It says here there are numerous ways to make those small changes to increase your water intake. And remember, I talked about structured water, and my special guest today, Kari Gray, she's a proponent of structured water. And she's the one who actually explained it all to me. It's amazing. And then also you could add more fruits and vegetables to your meals, monitor your sleep, and make adjustments for better sleep habits. Join walking, dance, or aerobics classes, and actually just learn to not do anything. Sometimes for us, doing nothing means just vegging out in front of the TV, but sometimes it's just, my grandmother used to do this. She used to just sit in her chair and be quiet, and she took time to do that every single day. And she would just sit there and be quiet and think and just be calm. And she that was very good for her health, I have to say. And, talk about eating lots of fruits and veggies. My friend Kari, who's coming on in a few minutes, she says, when you open your refrigerator, it should look like a salad is in there. It should be full of fresh fruits and vegetables, right? So yeah, that's this month, National Wellness Month. The other thing is, I just want to thank my special guest for my previous show, and that was Dr. Michael Hirion and Dr. Matthew Hammond from the Carrot Eye Center, and they have a 21st Century Eye Center, and they were so fantastic. If you go on my YouTube, go to Cell Phone Radio on YouTube, and you will see that show there. Take a look at that. It was very, very good. And if you'd like to be a special guest on the Robin Harris Show, what you can do is you can go on my website. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, you go on my website and you go the show. My website is the Robin Harris Advisors.com. You scroll down, and then you could just put in here, become a special guest. And we would love to talk with you. I want to talk about long-term care. I found this article. It's an older article, but it's good. It's from Forbes. The writer is John Girouard, Girouard, and he talks about, before you buy long-term care insurance, check out these alternatives. And this is interesting. This is an interesting statistic. I just read this yesterday. Because of COVID-19, 2 million people will be retiring early in the United States. That's what they're averaging. Those people are going to need Medicare, number one, especially if they're 65 and over, and they had group coverage, and now they need Medicare. So if you need Medicare, you could give us a call. Okay, 602-663-2810. But they are going to be retiring early. And one of the things that people are concerned about, and they're coming to the realization, because people think the government is going to take care of them when they get old. But if you end up in a nursing home or you need assistance as you get older, like assisted living, you need to pay for that. That costs money. It costs a lot of money. So I'm going to read this to you. This is interesting. It says, if you're the proud or panicked owner of a long-term care LTC health insurance policy, I'll bet you 10 to 1 you heard the phrase lock in the rates from the agent who sold you your policy. Thousands of people were told at the point of purchase that it was smart to take out their long-term care policies sooner rather than later, before the premiums on these policies became prohibitively expensive. It makes sense, right? Better get in now before all those aging baby boomers start making claims and long-term care insurance becomes impossible to afford! Exclamation point. The only problem is that long-term care insurance is a lot like health insurance. The premiums can increase at any time by any amount. Buried deep within the fine print of your policy was a disclaimer that probably read something like, your rates are subject to future increases. Nothing was ever guaranteed. Now, that's true with many insurances. Always read the fine print, okay? The reason premiums have increased is because insurers misjudged the duration and cost of claims. In 1980, long-term care expenditures in the U.S. were $30 billion, but by 2015, that figure had skyrocketed to $225 billion. So think about what that is now. Because since 2015, prices have gone through the roof even further. Okay, and that was according to Morningstar. In some cases, premiums have increased as much as 130%. It's no surprise then that the long-term care market has grown from 1.7 million insured in 1992 to more than 7 million people insured as of 2014, according to NAIC. And the numbers are showing no signs of slowing. It's estimated that more than 12 million seniors will require long-term care by this year, 2020. But rate hike increases are where the similarities between long-term care policies and traditional health insurance policies end. With long-term care policies, there is no such thing as an open enrollment period where you can change companies. The picture is even more dire for women who have a life expectancy that's 5 years higher than men. The average woman will have 39% higher health costs than the average man in retirement, paying an additional $194,000 over her lifetime, according to Merrill Lynch, Women and Financial Wellness. Now, this is a fantastic article. If you want to know about this article, just email me and I'll send it to you. My email is robin@robinharrisadvisors.com, and I will certainly send that right over to you. It's called the Women and Financial Wellness. It was by Merrill Lynch. It's very good. What else is out there? I'm glad you asked. Sales of new long-term care policies have fallen from 754,000 down to 129,000 in 2014, because these are very expensive policies. Most people can't afford them. This contraction has gone hand in hand with an ever-shrinking number of insurers in the marketplace. A better alternative, now this is what I want to talk to you about. A better alternative to long-term care insurance is the old-fashioned participating whole life insured policies with a chronic illness rider to solve the majority of long-term care protection problems. So what you can do is you could take a whole life policy. Some of them, like, you could put a lump sum in and then pay a portion, pay into it every month. And that gives you a huge cash value that you can draw from. Makes sense, right? That you can draw from for these events like long-term care. Or you can purchase a policy like that has riders for chronic and critical illness. And some have long-term care riders on them. They're called hybrids. These are very, very popular, and they are the most popular, actually. So if you want to know more about these kind of coverages, give me a call. Call the office at 602-663-2810. Or you could go to my website, robinharrisadvisors.com, and go to About Us, and we'll be happy to do a, you put a little information like an email or phone number. We'll reach out to you. Okay? So, it says, after all, why not have your cake and eat it too? With these policies, the hybrids, if you wind up needing to move into a nursing home or other long-term care facility, you can spend your death benefit completely tax-free for your care. Also, your heirs will receive a benefit at your death. Another perk to these policies is if you were to sell your home or gain an inheritance, you'd have a safe place to park and protect your money until you need it. And as long-term care costs increase, mortality also tends to increase, which favors the life insurance contract's return. No matter what you choose, if you're in the market for long-term care, you should compare all the options always and make sure that there is not a better or cheaper way. This is your future and your money. Now, one of the things that I offer, or two things, I offer alternative products, and this one particular, the reason why I sell these, I really like these, is because they're much more affordable and they meet a need. So this particular one will give you up to $5,000 in a nursing home per month. And for critical, if you ended up in a nursing home due to a critical illness like cancer, stroke, heart attack, Alzheimer's, kidney failure, and there's some other things here. This is a great plan, and the price is amazing. And then I also, like when I had Cypress Home Healthcare on, we talked about home healthcare insurance. All right, so this is home healthcare insurance. And so if you want somebody to come to your home and take care of you, help you to do your daily living, your daily routine, or to be with you while you're sick, or maybe you've developed dementia or something like that, this is a policy that pays a per day benefit. And I mean, even if with that, you need somebody to come in and help you around the house. I mean, that's what this does. This is a wonderful option. So the purpose of this little talk here is to let you know that there are options for long-term care nursing, because a lot of people think that Medicare is going to take care of them, that the government's going to take care of them. But no, that's not the case here. Okay, we're kind of on our own on this one. So we have to be prepared. All right, if you want to know more, just give me a call, 602-663-2810. All right, I'm so excited because we have such a special guest today, and that is Kari Gray. She is the CEO and founder of the Alternacare Foundation. We'll be right back, and you'll get to meet her.
Cellphoneradio.org is redefining webcasting and podcast productions. We're uniquely positioned to help you take advantage of the digital world we all live in. So if you have an idea or content for a webcast show or a podcast show, we would like to hear from you. We offer an innovative way of funding and creating outstanding webcast and podcast shows to earn income for developers and viewers. Please enjoy our current posted shows and interact with the host. Ask questions in real time and/or have one of our producers create a stunning digital advertisement spot for your company that can be inserted into our selected show schedules. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Robin Harris Show, Health and Health Insurance. I'm so excited because we have such a special guest here today, and that is Kari Gray. She is the founder and CEO of the Alternacare Foundation. Kari is a humanitarian, problem solver, researcher, health advisor, and thought leader, reinventing healthcare and health insurance holistically. She is a luminary for the sustainable wellness by living prevention, and that's hashtag prevention, not prescription. Faced with her own health crisis at age 25, Kari was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer and survived by reinventing her health. Vowing to make a difference, Kari has taken her talents in business to make a difference by paying it forward through her Alternacare Foundation. Kari, thank you so much for being here on the Robin Harris Show.
Oh, Robin, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I really think we're going to really blow the minds of your listeners today, or your viewers. So I'm really looking forward to what we're going to talk about.
Well, that's not hard for you to do, Kari. You're cutting edge. I mean, when I first met you, I don't know how long, it was about 5 years ago. That's what attracted me to you, was what you were doing in the field of health, healthcare, and health insurance. You are a trailblazer in that. So, thank you so much for being here. And I want to start with this, Kari. What is the Alternacare Foundation?
Well, thank you for asking. Alternacare is a 501c3, and our mission is to ultimately save lives. And we're doing that by reinventing the processes around health, healthcare, and health insurance three topics that most people don't understand. So we're here to advocate, innovate, prevent, and protect. And you'll find more about that here in just a minute, how we're doing all of those things.
Well, we were talking this week about what we're going to talk about. And we have to choose a subject. You're such a wealth of knowledge that we have to make just one topic because there's so many things that we can talk about. And one of the things I asked you, I said, can we just define what health is? Because a lot of people do not know. They think that health is, I don't know, I'm healthy. They just feel healthy. But what is the definition of health?
Well, do you want to pull up the website and we'll kind of talk about that? Because we have information there to share.
Okay. And we're going to Health Reinvented, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just go to alternacare.org and in the menu, look at Health Reinvented.
Okay, we're there.
Okay. And are you sharing your screen?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So I'm where it says, welcome to Health Reinvented with Alternacare, and then it says health and then reinvent.
Yes. So the definition of health, if you notice, it's a noun, right?
Right.
Okay. And what does it say?
State of being free from illness or injury.
That's right. So what most people think that health means is being diagnosis free.
Right.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm healthy, or I'm healthy. I only have to take such and such prescription. But that's not what real health is. So we have to really define health to have a healthy conversation about the topic around health. Health is being in an optimum state of wellness. That's what health really is. It's not about a diagnosis. And just to illustrate this point, I was healthy. I'm 25 years old. Yes, I had my health problems, but I was very healthy. But when I went for a physical, in 2 doctor's visits, I came away with first an MS diagnosis, and then the second one was terminal liver cancer. So everybody's healthy until something happens. So they think.
Right. And then I've seen that people say, oh, I'm healthy. I just take a cholesterol medicine. Or I take a high blood pressure medicine. But
right.
If you're healthy, well, why are you taking the medication?
There you go.
Or why does the doctor feel you need the medication?
There you go. Right.
Yeah. So going back to that, I'm going to go back to your website because I want to know, what is Health Reinvented? I'm just going to show the screen, then I'm going to come back to you, okay?
Okay.
So here's the definition. Did you want me to read that?
Yes, please.
Reinvent, verb, change something so much that it appears to be entirely new.
There you go. So we've heard of things like, repurpose, or we've heard of recycle. Like there's a lot of words, but to reinvent is to give something such a new perspective that it's not even the same as what you thought it used to be, right? So a remodel, that's what we're really talking about. Health remodeled. And so this is such a diverse topic that you're right. So when we're talking about health reinvented, the connotation actually leads into other conversations around things like healthcare and health insurance, because they're also interconnected.
Right. I know a lot. They are interconnected. One of the things that when health insurance is in the political talk, and this is a non-political show, I make that clear. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I notice in the political talk is when they're saying, they're talking about health insurance, they call it health care. You notice that? They'll say they're messing with your health care, but they're actually talking about health insurance. They really have it mixed up, don't they?
Yes, they do. Agree. Well, there's a lot of things that are mixed up, and no wonder people are confused because, everything is so interconnected, and, I call it confusion by design.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Did I disagree?
So,
well, it's for profiteering. We understand.
Well, that's right. And so,
there's
it's
a lot of money here.
Paralysis. If you keep people confused, then you keep them in control. And so, really what our mission here is to educate, enlighten, and empower people to understand that change is within our grasp. And that's what we're going to talk about on this show today. We're going to talk about what we're doing in Health Reinvented, as you can see here on the background. And it really starts with this lifestyle that we call living prevention. So that's really how the change starts, is making a choice to change. And on our website, we talk about the 6 pillars that is the foundation of the change that we're bringing.
And that's what I want to get into now, because you developed the 6 pillars, which is a paradigm shift to optimal living. Mm-hmm. Can we start with the first step of the 6 pillars?
Yes, absolutely. So, what I've done is I've tried to take and simplify things as much as I possibly can to, again, educate, enlighten, and empower people, right? So what I've done is taken these 3 fields that are very, very confusing to most people: health, healthcare, and health insurance. And how do we distill it down into 6 action steps that anybody can take? Okay. So step 1, or we call it pillar 1, because it's the foundation of what we're building here. Pillar 1 is when we make the choice that we don't like what's going on and we are looking for change. And we look not just outside for change, but we look within. So in other words, we're willing to change ourselves. We're willing to change, our habits, our lifestyle. Like, change is powerful. Mm-hmm. And choice is the privilege that we each get to make, and what the steps we make today are going to be the future that we receive. So, choose wisely. That's what we're here to say. Choose wisely. So we want everyone to realize that at the end of this, show, that we hope that people will feel empowered to start making new choices.
Yeah, the word choice is a powerful word, because a lot of people don't realize they have a choice.
Yeah, they feel very emasculated. And again, that's how monetization happens, is if you don't realize you had a choice, then you just continue to do what you've always done because you didn't know there was ever a chance for change.
Yeah.
But there is chance for change, and that's what we want people to hear, this message for change.
And then the second step is find your tribe.
Yeah, find your tribe. So, I want to illustrate pillar 2 with what happened to the largest retailers in the world. Okay, Walmart and Costco. These are 2 great examples. So a number of years ago, the organic movement, because there was such a disconnect between the GMOs and the Grocery Manufacturers Association refusing to label what has pesticides on it. So then the organic certification became we'll just do this another way, right? So people can look for the organic certification to know that this is a pesticide or a GMO-free, grown crop. Okay. So the demand for that became so profound that it shifted the buying direction of the largest retailers in the world. That's the power of a tribe. And that's why we invite people to join us. If this message that we're going to share makes sense, if you want to reinvent health, healthcare, and health insurance, and you want to do it holistically, okay, we've got to come together, because only when we come together can we create impact. That's where change happens. We'll talk more about that in Pillar 6.
Kari, I don't know anyone else who's sending that message out. I know that there's a lot of people that have websites, organizations, shows, things in this. They have groups. I don't know anyone. I'm maybe there's somebody out there, but I don't know anyone who's saying, let's come together so we can make change.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and you see people protesting for change, and you have these movements for change, but then demanding change and expecting change, but realizing change is a whole. Those are completely different places, and the change will never come. This is something I want people to take away. Change never comes from the top.
Right.
Just know that it will never come from the top.
It will never come from the top.
comes from the bottom up, right? So the way change starts is with people. It doesn't start with government. It doesn't start with corporations that are profiting from the status quo, but it has to start from the people who say enough.
Yes. And then your next step is Health Reinvented, building an academy. Can you tell us about that?
This is where we really, again, remember I said educate, enlighten, and empower. So nothing changes unless something changes, right? And the first thing that has to change is that people have to start prioritizing health education. You know, people are very career focused, right? And they're money focused and they're investment focused and they've got all these focuses. But you know what? There's nothing more important than your health. Ask any person who's lost their health. They will tell you, you have nowhere else to live if you lose your health. Okay? So what we're doing is putting together an academy that will distill and make the things that have been made so complicated doable, actionable, something that you can look at yourself and go, hey, I need to stop buying this, I need to stop doing this, or I need to stop, hanging out with these people or whatever. So I call it the no vice community. With this,
vice?
The no vice community. Yeah, because
I have a vice, Kari. I do. And you know what it is. I told you. You know I love my Brooklyn style pizza.
Oh, yeah. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like the vices that really.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So, if that's what you do every once in a while, that's your business. Woo. But we're just talking about changing lifestyles because, and this is what living prevention, if you see behind me, I'm kind of blocking it, but living prevention is the choice that we can all make. And that's why we call it the Living Prevention Academy, because this academy will walk you through a process so that you can become certified, so that you actually know that you understand all of this stuff and that you feel empowered to now know how to take it to the next step, which is making those changes. Right? Now, we're all creatures of habit, and granted, change is not easy. I'm living proof. I completely resonate with that message. I know how hard change is. However, I also know how doable it is. And when we change what goes on here, and we leave it's called the stinking thinking, right? And we don't think like, oh, I can't do that, it's too hard. And we say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm just going to make this choice to change. And here's one of the things I want to say why resolutions fail and why diets don't work. Because
diets don't work.
Right, because it didn't become a lifestyle.
Yeah.
See, so you don't go on a diet. You don't go on a diet. You change your diet, right? And it's not like a diet for 3 months or 6 months, then you go back. It becomes you. It becomes part of who you are. So that's what, nothing changes unless people get educated. And that's why this humanitarian work of making education something that people can implement. Because, like, for instance, Prevention is a magazine that's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the things I'm sure you've heard people say, I'm sure I've said it, you've probably said it. Anyways, point is, people say, I know what I should do. And then you know what comes next? But. And as soon as people say but, they've just disqualified everything that was said in front of them. I know what I should do, but. Okay.
But if I recall in that Prevention magazine, didn't they have a lot of drug ads in there?
Oh, I don't know.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but
that wouldn't surprise me because pharma's got a lot of deep pockets. So
yeah, and Reader's Digest was the same way. But I mean,
and that's the reason why living prevention isn't just about knowing what you want to do or knowing what you should do. It's about applying it.
It is.
It becomes your lifestyle. So, going back to pillar 2, when we talk about tribe,
mm-hmm.
we call it the preventer's tribe. So if you're living this, you are a preventer, right? You're not waiting till there's a problem. You're proactively, not reactively, addressing the changes that you can make personally that are so powerful and so impactful that people just don't even realize how impactful they really are. And that's what I want people to know. So that's what the Academy is about.
Well, the thing is, Kari, You at the age of 25, your story, you're walking the walk. You know, some people say I'm this, I'm that, but you've walked the walk. You're walking the walk. And the reason why, age 25, terminal liver cancer, never took a chemo, never took radiation, never took surgery. And look at you. You're the picture. Look at you. Skin, beautiful hair.
Thank you. Well,
alive.
Yes, alive. Right. Well, I've been very blessed because I had a really awesome health coach. She was a naturopath, and she walked me through a lot of things, and she introduced me to so many things that actually go into pillar 4.
Okay, let's
talk
about pillar 4.
Yeah, pillar 4. So in let me just recap. So in pillar 3, it's how health is reinvented. Health is reinvented by our members knowing what health truth is. Mm-hmm. Okay, distilling propaganda from truth is what the academy is about. Okay, pillar 4 now is where we're at, right? So pillar 4 is about healthcare reinvented. Right. So again, all these things are connected. So now that people have more knowledge, now what kind of healthcare? Well, once you start understanding how the body really works, that's what we want people to do in the academy, is start understanding how you get to optimum health and wellness, how that really works, right? How you can live prescription free, how you can live the quality of life that every human being on this planet deserves to live. Okay. But the problem is that things can still happen. Even when you're proactive, things can still happen, right? So now this is where the rubber hits the pavement, okay? So in pillar 4 is, now we're talking about healthcare reinvented. And in order to illustrate this, I want to say that if you think about, there's 3 sciences that medicine is built on. So chemistry is the first.
Biology.
Okay? And that's what pharmaceuticals are. They're basically chemistry. Okay. Mm-hmm. And depending on how the age of your audience, some people might remember commercials on TV for years that would say life made better through chemistry. Okay. And that was the plastic industry. That was where, the Rockefellers brought their fortune in, and they, brainwashed people, think plastic's everything. And now we've got an ocean full of plastic, right? So, okay, life made better by chemistry, not true. The second science is biology, germs and, viruses and bacteria and all those things, right? That's the stuff you see under a microscope. That's biology. That's where conventional medicine, that's where a lot of medicine is. Conventional medicine, alternative medicine, complementary medicine, right? Okay. So they're in biology. Okay. But there's a third kind of medicine, and this is physics. And in physics, is an understanding of what's called the quantum field, or the quantum energy field. And there's terms that are called like scalar energy. And it's a field of energy that is like a fountain, okay? And every single one of us has this. But it's something that nobody talks about. I mean, very few. The people in the quantum space talk about it, they understand it. But if you're looking from a conventional standpoint, they don't get this because they're not educated about it. Okay. So anyways, I was introduced to this energy field medicine 30 plus years ago. And
was this from your mentor?
Yeah. My health coach, right. My naturopath. And how she introduced me to it was she introduced me to what's called kinesiology.
Oh yeah. Love it.
Maybe people have heard of kinesiology, but that is a form of energy medicine. Okay. Because the body is electrical, okay, and it has electrical field. And when you're using resistance, you're finding where weaknesses are. You're finding where, like, the cord on the appliance has a cut, and now the electricity isn't flowing. Okay, so that was when I got first introduced to this field of science. It took me a long time to figure my way through it, and I'm still never going to figure my way through it entirely, but I have a much better grasp of it now. Yeah. There's just a lot of things that Nikola Tesla discovered, and some other brilliant minds of the past, that they understood the body dynamics and the energy field. And thankfully, their work has survived the tyranny of trying to destroy truth, not truth. And anyways, and so we have this today. So this is really 21st century healthcare.
Well,
And so,
there's others not as comprehensive of what you're doing, but I know there are practitioners that are using these techniques, but you're talking about educating people about it.
Absolutely. Right. Well, and that's where healthcare has to change, because what we're doing is, and you have to understand when I'm giving you all this explanation, what I'm telling you is that this is all very new. We are yet to launch this project, but right now what we're talking about is our the big picture. I call it the big picture, big mission, right? And so the pillar 4 is making this primary health care. How revolutionary is that? When you're talking about personalized care that's non-toxic, non-invasive, and extremely powerful. Okay, it will untangle you. People get in so many entangled knots from trauma, from toxins, from the things that, we have this baggage that we're all carrying around, right? And that's why, like, sometimes when you're around people and you're like, wow, their energy is just amazing, like you can feel it. Well, it's because they've unloaded that baggage. Probably they've been doing some housework, some deep cleaning. But so often what happens to us as people is that we keep shoving all the drawers and the closets and the cabinets, and everything just keeps getting shoved away, and eventually disease manifests.
Yes.
So what we have to understand, now that was the reality at 25 that I had to come to. I didn't get remission until I dealt with all the emotional traumas that I had been subjected to as a child. And that's the reason today these are called ACEs. They're called adverse childhood experiences, and they have to do with trauma that people have that left unresolved results in disease. Every disease starts with an emotional trauma. Without it, there is no doubt. I mean, every single one. And cancer is one of those for sure that manifests.
I know someone out here in Phoenix metro area. Mm-hmm. He calls himself Coach Kenny. I definitely would have to ask him to come on the show, but that's what he says. Mm-hmm. When I first heard him say that, I repelled the thought that every disease starts with emotion. But, it was one of those thoughts that I had to really give it some thought. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I realize it's true.
It is true. Well, I will tell you, just to prove the point. So with my naturopath, I changed my diet. I changed my lifestyle. I changed my toxin exposure. I changed my toxin load. I mean, she had me doing I was spending thousands of dollars on all of this, right? And I was doing so many things. And finally she said to me one day, I can't help you anymore. And I was like devastated. I said, what? What do you mean? And she said, because what's wrong with you isn't all of this. What's wrong with you is something is emotionally still wrong. And so she sent me to a different practitioner who did that kind of work, who did that kind of energy work. And I'm going to tell you, he opened up the bucket. I mean, like the fire hose. I mean, I was like, wow, I could not believe the stuff that I was carrying around. And when you have liver cancer, just as an example, the liver it does like over 500 functions. But one of the emotions that liver stores, because the brain can't deal with things, so it like uses organs as like storage places. So the organ that the liver holds, the emotion that liver holds is anger. It's got a lot of reasons to be angry. There were a lot of things that happened to me at a young age. And when I resolved the anger, remission resulted. I'm going to tell you, emotions are so much more powerful than people give them credit. And so, so often people are brainwashed to believe that this is all genetics. It's not genetics. This is trauma that creates a block in the energy field. And it's like the body has a language. Right. Okay. If you've ever tried to learn a foreign language, it's a real learning process. That's what the body is speaking in. It speaks in its own language. And until we learn what the body language is, how could we ever start having optimum health and wellness? That's why Pillar 4 is so important to this 6 steps to change.
I was talking to one of my clients yesterday. She has 3 boys. Mm-hmm. And because of this whole lockdown thing, some neighbors were getting upset because they were playing on the street. I mean, the kids are locked in their home. They have to do all day at home school. And I was thinking, just by what you were saying, you know, what is all this going to do mentally to people? I think it's going to affect them, and it's going to affect their health. It's supposed to be about health, right? The whole lockdown thing. But I think it's going to have an opposite effect. I was thinking, concerned about that.
You're on point, my friend. Has nothing to do with health, but it has everything. If the government and the powers that be were so worried about health, they would have never allowed GMOs. Okay?
Yeah, GMOs are awful.
That's right. If they were really worried about health, there would be so many things that would be proactively have been resolved a long time ago. This is not about health.
Right.
That's another show for another conversation.
Yeah, that's another conversation.
But you're right. And in fact, I've watched some of the doctors, you know, pleading with people as far as this lockdown, that the damages to the children are going to be far worse than the children almost have 0% contraction of COVID, because they actually have an immune system that works.
Yeah.
If they haven't been completely crippled by toxins. So, you know, anyways, it's not about that.
Right.
There's a whole nother very dark topic here, but we won't go there.
But that's the beauty of what you're doing, is that you're bringing about a community that has the mindset to put that away.
Exactly.
And to really reinvent their health. And now there is the fifth pillar, which is health insurance reinvented.
Yeah.
Okay. Health insurance reinvented.
This is, again, you know, where we segue, because, you know, right now, and I know this because it happened for me, you know, whenever you choose a holistic course, you're also choosing self-pay. Because if you know, in most any policy, it used to be called a nuisance claim, and a nuisance claim was, you know, small claims. So in the nuisance category of insurance, they put, you know, your 10 or 12 chiro, acupuncture, or massage, right? So they'll give you this little bit, but that little bit is not a healthcare plan.
Yeah, we'll give you 10 visits for the whole year.
That's right.
Maybe.
And they know that. They know that. So the bottom line is what Pillar 5 is about is taking the best of the best. I call it the uncommon sense approach to solving this very complicated problem, which is, how do we manage the cost of care in a way that makes sense for everybody, in a way that is sustainable? Now, the first caveat to this is for people who follow a plant-based lifestyle. And the reason why Pillar 5 is exclusive to people that follow a plant-based lifestyle is because many of the lifestyle diseases that people have, and in fact, I think there's at least 14 of them, come about from diet. So if we're going to change the cost of care, remember, this is the thing that gets people so upset, because when you look at health insurance premiums, they've gone astronomically up, right? So if we're going to rewind or reinvent that outcome, we have to start making big changes. And one of the big changes that people can do to help themselves is to lower the stress that they put on their body by not having to digest things that are very, very hard on the body. We don't have the teeth. We don't have the teeth to grind up things that are from the animal world. I'm sorry to say, but we don't. We have an herbivore teeth. All of our teeth are smooth. That's for grinding, you know, plants and seeds and vegetables and fruit. It's not for shredding meat. If we were canines, we'd have all of those incisors. And the other problem is, and you can research this. I've done my own research.
Yeah.
Because I used to be a carnivore, but I have not been for quite some time. But my point is if you look at the digestive tract of a carnivore versus an herbivore, what you'll see is an herbivore has a very long digestive tract. So when an herbivore is eating meat, guess what's happening? This is where a lot of the digestive issues are happening, like the cancers and whatnot. Because again, if you look at a carnivore, they got a straight shoot, literally from you know, top to bottom.
Really, that's interesting.
They go through food really quick, okay? Because they've got the digestive system, they've got the teeth, you know, all of these things are designed for their diet. So my point is, for people who want to control the cost of healthcare, and they want to get in this tribe, because you can only be in here if you're an Alternacare member. Okay, so if you want to be an Alternacare member, you don't have to be part of this sharing community. That's what it's called, AlternaShare. You don't have to be part of it if you don't want to. But if this makes sense and you want to be able to have that member privilege, then the first caveat is you live prevention and you follow a plant-based diet. So anyways, and
so under, and we'll go to pillar 6 in a moment, but you have the Alternacare Foundation. Mm-hmm. So it's an umbrella. It's mama, right? Yeah. It's mama. And then under here you have the babies, and that is the alternative. So what are the babies?
Yes, that's right. So AlternaShare is just a really innovative way of managing as a group healthcare costs without using health insurance, without going bankrupt, by having to self-fund your own care, and without having to go alone. It's about people that are like-minded, that have a similar lifestyle, coming together in a sharing community and living proactive first. So it's all about, again, we've got to have, and this is where we're layering this. So think about it like this. So the first layer is education. The second layer is we have the coaching. Okay, so we're coaching people to help them. So that's kind of, I didn't mention that in pillar 4, but coaching is inside of pillar 4. So we want people to really be, to get their questions answered, to really have a coach that's there for them. Okay, now in this other layer, this is where when the big things happen. Now we have a community that we're putting monthly into this pot, like you do with insurance. But you're putting monthly in here.
Or a health share.
When someone in the community actually has something that happened. And I will be the first to admit, energy medicine, holistic medicine, it doesn't solve every problem.
Right.
There are going to be times that we're going to need conventional medicine. But see, this is allowing all medicine access based on the need, instead of just saying, nope, you can't have it. If it's the best thing for you, then that's definitely the right that you will have to have those costs shared. To illustrate, if you get a broken leg, you need conventional medicine. If you have cancer, you're going to want to have a holistic option.
Right.
And that's what this is about, bringing all the medicine together, putting it inside of a community that is sharing a lifestyle. And by being proactive, they can control the cost of what that is, because we don't have people living with reckless abandon here.
Yeah.
We've got people that are like-minded sharing that.
Because what I've done for myself, Kari, is I have a catastrophic, I actually have it on a health share chassis, a catastrophic, that's all I have. And then I have supplements in there for critical illness, terminal, that will pay me cash so that I could go and do whatever kind of treatment I want, not what the health insurance tells me I can have. So what you're basically saying is what I've designed with all these different policies, you're going to be putting together in the AlternaShare.
Exactly. And the difference is, this is one of the things that I observed, because originally this all got started when I was in insurance. Okay. So, and let me just kind of go back. So when I was diagnosed terminal, I had health insurance. And my practitioner said, you have health insurance? I said, yes. She goes, well, none of what I'm going to tell you they're going to cover, and it's going to cost a lot of money. And I said, okay, I can accept that. I mean, it was like, this is the only choice I have, right? So I'm going to do this. Fortunately for me, I was in a financial position because I owned a business that I could afford to do what so often people can't. So often what happens to people is that when they get this diagnosis, they lose at least 2/3 of their income after a long period of time of losing their income. And then by the time they're on 2/3 of an income, now their costs have increased. That is not a financial vehicle to get you well. That just, it's just, like nails in the coffin. So the concept here is to think forward, right? To make the decisions today that the tomorrow you is going to be glad you made. And by being proactive, not reactive, and by realizing that things can happen, because they do happen, right, is to be prepared. Right? To be prepared, to prepare for things that can happen, but by having this community model, knowing that the burden, the financial burden that people have is not on their own shoulders. But the one thing that I realized when I was in insurance and I was looking at this from the from the life policies, like you described.
Right, because Kari Gray was an insurance professional, and so she's coming from, her knowledge is coming from that background.
Right, and so when I was there, one of the things that I saw, though, with people is that when they get big cash injections, they often don't make wise financial decisions. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, this is why if we're in a sharing environment, we can protect people from, making bad decisions, because again, we're bringing in all this innovation together. And now when we're sharing things, we're putting people in a position where, let's just say, for example, that a person wants to do in-home care. They want to do in-home cancer care that's holistic. Well, the sharing community will help them with that once they meet what's called an IUA.
Right.
That's like an insurance deductible, right? That's okay. Or let's say a person, things ever change and a person wants to go to Mexico and they want a holistic treatments at the Hope for Cancer. That's okay. That's going to be something that our community would be able to support because it's in line with what we're doing. But if on the other hand, like I said, somebody has a broken leg and they need surgery, well, that's not the place for holistic medicine. Now we need that emergency care.
Right.
But again, that's part of our sharing community. See, so, just using what I call the uncommon sense, because while this should be common sense, it doesn't seem to be.
It's common sense to me. That's why I've designed the plan I have. I do not have a traditional health insurance. Right. I've designed my plans. I'm a health insurance planner. That is what I do. I design my plan. It's absolutely beautiful, but it takes into account what I need, what I want, holistic treatment, all of that.
Right.
But what you're doing is you're putting that together for all people, not just for one person. That's wonderful.
Right. So you don't have to be an insurance professional to get this figured out.
Right.
So you can be just an average person who, just wants to have the freedom to make choices that are unorthodox. To be able to choose things. So what we have right now, I've vetted about 40 different. I'm going to use the number 40. Anyway, somewhere around that. Different modalities that, are very effective and based on the diagnosis that a person would have if something should happen. But like say, again, what we're doing is focusing heavily on prevention, because the prevention side of this is going to prevent at least 14 lifestyle diseases, because statistics say that prevention is 70 to 80% effective.
See, Kari, that's why I always end the show with the best health insurance is taking care of your health. Because when I was sharing today the different policies that I have, those are because people have diseases.
That's right.
But what if you don't have those diseases?
Well, that's right. Why do we wait till we have a disease before this becomes a priority?
But disease costs money. It costs money. You have to pay for it before you ever get it. And then when you get it, you have to pay. And then the aftercare goes on forever. But I want to go into the pillar number 6. Nothing changes until the money changes.
That's right. So again, going back to the illustration of Costco, for example, right? Or Walmart, right? These large multinational corporation retailers. So the way that the demand for organic food changed those retailer shelves, the way that the whole plant-based community demand for meat alternatives, like these things are changing retail behavior. So people always are like, they get, and I share with you, I'm not political at all. I think it's like wrestling. My dad this is how I illustrate it. My dad used to watch wrestling when I was a little girl. And it would get you all really involved. Like you would just be like, you'd have the good guy and the bad guy. And
it's Coke and Pepsi.
Well, yeah. But what you didn't know is it was decided before whoever went out in the ring who was actually going to win.
Right.
So, once you understand and take once you see behind the curtain and you understand that politics is a diversion, right? And that there's no, there's no integrity. So we all know that part. But anyways, the point is that if you really want to make change, you vote with your dollars. Because when you stop rewarding corporate bad behavior, you start making change. When you stop doing business, when you stop doing things like buying a GMO or buying, Monsanto's Roundup, when you start making these kinds of changes collectively, millions of people, oh, guess what? You just shift the paradigm.
Yes.
So that's why if we want change, we have to stop talking about change, and we have to make our buying decisions match our morals. If we really want change, then change the way you spend your money. And that's why we invite people to do one of three things. Join us as a member, to donate, and any donation helps, right? So to donate, or to join us as a volunteer. Let's say people say, well, I don't have any money. It's okay. If you have talent, if you have time, if there's something that you have that could make a meaningful impact in this movement and this cause, then we would love to talk to you. So
how can someone
be a people movement for everybody?
So let's briefly go through that. So if somebody wants to be a member, how do they do that? I want to go to your website.
Yeah, so when you go to the website,
okay,
if you
let
just
me
look
do
at the
that.
menu, it says enroll.
Okay, we're going to go
So membership is a very low cost point of entry. A single person is less than, it's like $1 something a day. A couple or a family, 2 or more people, anyways, is $2 or $3 a day. It's all very low cost. But what we're all about is we're looking for early adopters. We're looking for people that this message makes sense to, and that they say, let's do this, right? And so like initially right now, what we're looking for is about 2,000 people that want to change this healthcare scene with the cost sharing. And so we need at least 2,000, somewhere in the 2,000 to 5,000 early membership. If we have that many that would join us as a member, then we can really, that'll give us a pool of money to start working on the cost share, because the cost share is a part of the membership. So I want to make that really clear. Nobody has to go into the cost sharing community that they don't want to, and not everybody qualifies to go into it. So that's okay, right?
That's true.
The membership is like, think of Amazon Prime membership. So Amazon Prime membership gets you member exclusive privileges, but it doesn't get you everything on the website. So Alternacare membership is going to get you the education, and it's going to get you the community. There's things that you'll see when you look at the enroll page. You'll see those things listed. We have a whole list of benefits, and we have a member exclusive website that members go into, where we start creating this change. Right?
And this is alternacare.org.
Alternacare.org, right, is where this all starts at. Yes.
ALTERNACARE.org. Now, how does somebody become a volunteer?
Well, that's a good question. If you look on the, if you look in the menu where it says enroll, I believe.
Okay.
I'm going to
go back there.
That spot. It's up in the menu somewhere, but anyways, I think it's enroll, and then it's like donate, and then donors. Anyways, it's in there somewhere. I'm sorry I don't have the website in front of me.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So here's the free membership. Submit and join a free. Okay.
But it's up in the menu, Robin. I don't know if you're on the right page. Maybe it's under donors.
Oh, donors. Okay.
Donors. I think it's under the donors page. So we have an organization that we collaborate with called Volunteer Match, and at Volunteer Match we put up different needs that we have for volunteers. So people can, or they can just email us if they want and say, hey, blah blah blah. So anyways, but that's those are like really specific things that we have need for. So
Kari, I know there's people listening to this and saying, I want to talk to Kari Gray because she's an innovator and I need to speak to her, because that's how it was when I first met you. I was like, does she have a phone number? I need to call her right now. Who is she? Who is this woman? And so would you be so kind as to give your email and your phone number so those people want to speak with you can?
Yeah, sure. So you can reach me at Kari, Kari, at alternacare.org.
Okay, say that again.
Kari at alternacare.org.
Okay. All right.
And my number is 707-742-3554.
Right. Okay, that's wonderful.
If I'm not available, I always return calls. So.
Yes, you do. Kari, this is so interesting. So interesting. I when you and I get on the phone, we talk a long time, and because we have a lot in common. We love to talk about health, and we love to talk about innovation, and you're all of those things. Kari Gray, founder, CEO of Alternacare Foundation, thank you so much for being on the Robin Harris Show today.
Thank you, Robin. You're a wonderful, wonderful friend, and thank you so much for all you do to help people be able to make better decisions based on the education that you're sharing with them. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my friend. Well, we'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Studio8181.com is a talent development and management company that owns its recording studio and video production center located in Peoria, Arizona. Share your media content, earn income, and talk to your fans all from one spot. Studio8181.com positions your content to be seen by important decision makers so you can attend exclusive auditions and or get invited to perform at venues many entertainers only dream about. The producers and engineers are determined to create new opportunities for talents, aspirants, and future stars. Don't have the money to do a soundtrack or a promotional demo video? Not a problem. You can simply request and schedule an audition. If you have the talent, we want to hear from you. Get your entertainment website and more. Email us at info@studio8181.com. Thank you.
Wasn't that a fantastic interview with Kari Gray? She is a thought leader. And what I love about Kari is, as an example, she beat this cancer thing, and all she wants to do is help others to do that too. And that is by she calls it living prevention. And I am so on board, Kari. Thank you so much for being here today. So, and I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Robin Harris Show. And what I love to have these experts on. The whole purpose of the show is to have on the experts in health and health insurance. If you want to get to know me a little bit more, you can go on my website, robinharrisadvisors.com. That's my company website, robinharrisadvisors.com. And you could, if you want to get in touch with me, you know what? You can email me. My email is robin, R-O-B-I-N, at robinharrisadvisors.com. If you have any questions or you just want to know about health insurance options, just email me, and I'll be happy to reach out to you. But I want to thank our producer, James Dunson, and I also want to thank our tech guru, Scott Antrim. They do a fantastic job here. And I want to say, as you can see, just with Kari and I talking, and it's so true, that the best health insurance is taking care of your health. Isn't that true? So thank you so much for tuning in to the Robin Harris Show, Health and Health Insurance. I'm so glad you were here today, and I look forward that you tune in on our next show. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
When you want to get the accurate information about the future of health and health insurance, just watch the Robin Harris Podcast Show every Thursday, 10 a.m. Arizona time at cellphoneradio.org or dial 408-418-5050 and enter the access code 81810#. It's an invigorating show where Robin brings you experts in the field of health and health insurance. The audience can view the show and ask questions of her guests in real time. That's the Robin Harris Podcast Show every Thursday, 10 a.m. Arizona time at cellphoneradio.org or dial 408-418-5050 and enter the access code 81810#. What's in your health insurance plan?
Studio8181.com is a talent development and management company that owns its recording studio and video production center located in Peoria, Arizona. Share your media content, earn income, and talk to your fans all from one spot. Studio8181.com positions your content to be seen by important decision makers so you can attend exclusive auditions and or get invited to perform at venues many entertainers only dream about. The producers and engineers are determined to create new opportunities for talents, aspirants, and future stars. Don't have the money to do a soundtrack or a promotional demo video? Not a problem. You can simply request and schedule an audition. If you have the talent, we want to hear from you. Get your entertainment website and more. Email us at info@studio8181.com. Thank you.